When producing a video, it's essential to plan and prepare adequately so that your shoot goes off without a hitch. But how does your typical production compare to hosting a live stream? In this video, we'll explore how you can conduct a successful live stream on your own with a few simple tools. Before you can go live, you must decide on the format you want your live stream to be and the content you want to present. From that information, you can create a script. A script describes everything the viewer will see and hear. For a live stream, you'll most likely use a simple script with a couple of pointers on what you're going to say or do. This will give you a simple outline to follow as you talk about whatever comes to mind. We recommend this for most live streams since it'll allow you to be more natural on camera and you won't look so robotic in comparison to reading everything from a teleprompter. The outline approach also works better than scripting out every single word because it leaves you more room for spontaneous audience interaction, one of the primary reasons to go live. Your outline will also help you be more conscious of how much time you spend on each subject. You don't want to overlook and bore your audience. It's a good practice to plan exactly how much time you'll spend on each topic. If you're planning to stream an event, you may not need a script per se, but you still need to determine the general timeline for the event. It's important to coordinate with your client or event organizers to make sure you don't miss a moment. Knowing all the details can help you make the best decision on crew and equipment needed. Here are some things you'll want to know before starting any stream. About how long will the stream last? Do I need video mixing, lower thirds, titles, or logos inputted into the stream? What camera inputs do I need and how many? What audio inputs do I need? Get an understanding of where all the subjects will be. And if you're streaming a live event, a schedule for the event will be extremely helpful. Get as many details as possible before the stream, no matter how big or small. The more you know, the smoother things will go. The next step in preparing for your live stream is to gather all the necessary gear. If you haven't already, now's the time to watch our video on live streaming gear. By now, you should have determined the format you want your stream to take and the content it'll cover. This information will help you figure out what gear is required. In general, you'll need at least one camera on a tripod, an external microphone, proper lighting, and a computer or streaming box that supports live stream and can accept all required camera and audio inputs. Along with these larger items, you'll also want to collect any cables needed to connect your gear together and get your stream online. As you get set up, make sure to appropriately manage the wires so that they're not in the way. Finally, if you have an object or props that you wish to show during the live stream, go for it. A fantastic accessory to use is a whiteboard, so you can quickly write things and show your audience. Just make sure the camera can focus on the whiteboard. After writing the script and gathering your gear, determine the day and time at which you'll go live and tell people about it. Use social media to spread the word to your family, friends, and following. The more people watching the stream, the more enjoyable it'll be for everyone. As for timing, that depends on your audience and the type of stream. If your audience is from around the world, you need to consider the time zone and make the live stream at the time your audience will most likely be online. You can use World Time Buddy to compare time zones from different countries. Unlike a typical production where you have the full flexibility of doing whatever you like, with a live stream you have one limitation. You need to set up your live stream as close as possible to your modem or router for the best signal strength possible. Even better, make sure the computer you're using for your stream is hardwired to the network for the most reliable connection. It's strongly recommended that you use an Ethernet cable instead of the wireless signal when that's an option. Live streaming takes a considerable amount of bandwidth, and if you do it via Wi-Fi, the chances of having playback issues increases exponentially. On the day of the stream, getting started early is a must. Aim for at least an hour so you can check that all equipment is functioning properly and ensure that your connection is strong and steady. The last thing you want to happen in the middle of an event is for your stream to crash. Make sure all your batteries are charged and all your accessories are accounted for and in a place you can access quickly and quietly. At a live event, it's important to sync your cameras and audio together and double check that all settings are correct. Make sure the switching software or hardware system that you're going to use is updated and running correctly. This is also the time to prepare the switchboard, and if your software allows it, save your desired settings as a preset. You'll also need to make sure all your graphics are working and finalized. Make sure names and titles of all speakers are correct. Practice putting the graphics up to make sure they'll appear as intended. Finally, set the cameras at predetermined spots. Make sure the correct cables go to the right cameras. Check the focus, exposure, and white balance. Now's the time to set up all of your audio devices as well. Test the strength of the wireless signal and check for interference. If you have anything that needs to be fixed, this is your chance to fix it. Throughout your preparations, try to be as efficient as possible. If you plan to stream regularly, keep your gear and camera placements consistent for every shoot. The more consistent, the easier it'll be to set up for the next stream. Once you have everything plugged in and your inputs are showing up correctly in your switching interface, you can work on sending your stream to your host platform of choice. To do this, you'll first need to choose your stream settings in your streaming software of choice, including resolution, frame rate, bit rate, and encoding method. Your network bandwidth will be the most important factor in choosing these settings, especially bit rate and resolution. Higher resolution and frame rates usually require faster bit rates and therefore higher network speeds. You'll usually be streaming at resolutions between 720p and 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second, with a bit rate ranging from 3 megabits per second to 6 megabits per second. All of this depends on what your network can consistently support. Your computer or streaming box hardware will also influence your choice of codec depending on what you're streaming. For example, using X264 will put more strain on your CPU, while NVIDIA NVENC relies on your graphics card. If you experience poor stream performance, changing the encoding method could help. Finally, you'll need to set up your streaming destination. Check your platform of choice for specific instructions, but in general, you'll need your login information and the stream key provided by your platform in order to send your stream to the desired destination. Any decent streaming software will have options for adjusting any of these settings. For best results, test your stream at different settings before your first official stream. Because each setup is slightly different, you may need to experiment to see which settings work best for your specific network and system. It is monumentally important to do a test run before doing your real live stream. Make sure to do this test well in advance so you have time to suss out any potential issues before your planned start time. Make sure every piece of equipment is working correctly. Test your internet connection speed, check your video quality, and equally important, make sure the audio is clear. Do not overlook the audio quality. Your audience will not mind the quality of the video so much, but they won't be as merciful if they can't hear you. Whatever your level of experience with streaming video, you should know that technology that makes it happen does not always work the way it should. On top of that, there's tons of variety when it comes to streaming setups, so a fix for your specific issue may be hard to find. Good troubleshooting skills are a must. Always start with the simplest solution. Depending on your particular issue, start with checking your HDMI, audio, or Ethernet cables. Are they plugged in? Is there another one to try? Your first task is to make sure everything is connected and working correctly. If you're still having problems, go through your settings again to make sure everything matches between inputs and outputs. You may also need to take a close look at where your project's being sent and how it's getting there. Double check your internet connection and stream key. Live streams can sometimes fail altogether, leaving you stranded. If you're doing your live stream with your computer, it's a good idea to have your smartphone on standby just in case the main computer stream fails. Sometimes the internet connection goes down, and other times your computer just doesn't want to connect to the internet. If that happens, try using your smartphone to reconnect to the streaming platform using your cellular data. While these solutions aren't ideal, it's better than going offline completely. Think about how you'll reach out to your viewers to let them know what's going on in case your stream ends abruptly. You have everything set up and you did a test run. You're ready to make your live stream. Since every live stream platform has chat capabilities, make sure to answer your audience's messages and comments and show that you appreciate their support. Your live stream chat is also a great place to get feedback on your stream's video and audio quality. You may or may not be able to fix issues live, but at least you'll be able to address any issues before your next stream. Live streaming, without a doubt, is the best way to engage with your audience. Determine what content you wish to share and get streaming. No two live streams are exactly the same. When you're streaming a live event, anything can happen, so get ready to capture that moment.
Continued learning and practice, as well as taking refreshers on the basics, will help keep your skills sharp. Check out our video courses to stay on top of your game. Find a course by visiting videomaker.com/courses or click the link in the description.